my live streaming. It isn't live. You going down to the microwave?
Yes, I'm saying do one at a time.
I'm not hungry yet. I'll probably take a quick shower and then I want to go to the pool at some point today.
Saying do one at a time.
Oh, the biggies.
Very good. How do you catch it? Wish I had shoes.
I'm wondering how it's possible I don't have my hairbrush. I don't remember taking it out of my bag. Unless I left it on the ship. Wait, we were off the ship for a day. It's talking about if I left it at the other hotel. Oh yeah, that's right. I got a couple of shells. That's all they had at that beach. They don't have a lot of shells.
Are there any cigarettes, really?
Yeah, they're in the case. You didn't tell me you're going to smoke. I'll smoke with you.
I was just gonna ask you.
I think I might have left. Where could I have left my
Well,
hairbrush?
I don't know if I can microwave them and smoke.
I might have actually left my. Oh no, it's right there. No, you'll have to smoke and then microwave.
Well, I have to carry them down.
You might have to make a decision. You might have to smoke and then just walk back up here, babe, and then go back down to the microwave. Give yourself a workout. What are you gonna carry those out in a plate outside?
Okay, you heat them at the table.
Huh?
I could heat them at a table.
I guess I could just go out and smoke by myself while you're microwaving. How long do they have to microwave for?
45 seconds.
Unless you want me to just come down after. I'll come down in like 10 minutes or something.
I eat them in a second.
Okay. Come down in 5 minutes. While you're while you're miking, yeah, while you're microwaving and eating.
Just come down with.
I'll come down in like 5 minutes. You'll still be eating when I come down. I guess.
Very good. It'll take 2 seconds to eat.
Right. I'll come down in 2 seconds. I just don't feel like standing there, microwaving and then watching you eat. I'm sorry. It's gonna take these people dying. That's all it's gonna take, and I'm sure you know that by now. People don't get in ground wars with axes and tree limbs carved into a spear for no reason.
Don't forget to eat.
Okay, babe. All right, so it was 6:25. So by what? 10 minutes into this, I'll come down. I'm talking to myself.
Don't take 10 minutes.
No, it's already at 6:25. By the time it says 10 minutes, I said. That's what happens when you half listen. So anyway, what I was gonna say is you're finding out, if you didn't know this, that people in other time periods weren't any different than they are now. That's why you had revolutions and wars like that, ground wars. You don't have it now because of Almighty God. People can read a book and they know that God's killing all these people. So we don't have to. We're not murderers, and those people weren't murderers either. No, they were forced to it. And God isn't making us do that because we're greatly outnumbered and we wouldn't win, number one. Right, you'd be like a Native American fighting to the death against a mob of deranged animals that don't make any sense because their brains are gone. It's an animal. And they're filled with envy. Okay, it's just straight out. Like, I've watched people get the dementia and they start doing it too. I watched Barbara screaming at a television because the news anchors were thin. Because at that point, her whole life she was worried about her weight. And at that point, she's demented. She's 80 something years old. She sits in a chair. She doesn't like her life. She doesn't like what she sees in the mirror. And that's what their lives are. All they do is look at other members and compare them to themselves. That's why monkeys don't have mirrors in a jungle. And if you don't look like them, they attack. Like genetic conformity. But anyways, that's what it's going to take, Governor, as you know. So if people could speed up the process of protecting and defending, that would be fantastic. The issues with the telephones is still going on that I'm not going to spend all day talking about because I'm in a really good mood. The answer is not, oh, that means that they want you to read books and get offline. That's not what it means. That was a nice disassociation for people for a while because some people thought that the phones were harming people's brain matter and it was good to read books and get out of the rat race and become enlightened and all of that. So that was to help you in a horrifying situation where you're being overrun by brain injured, mentally retarded, non-human beings. And then your fellow countrymen just losing their crap, and just as I explained. My sister was nice enough because the phone was free if she added a line. The phone's already dead. It's been a month. Today's the 25th, right? Okay, it's been a month. That's why the phone is free. or it's some sort of a virus, just like this phone, where they stop it from charging. And this phone was turned on last night and left off of a charger, and it still had charge this morning. So I believe they have control over it too. They do something that makes the phone believe there's no battery charge. That's why it will do it. And then when it turns back on, you still have battery charge. Right. All of a sudden, this morning, mid morning, when I plug that brand new phone in, it won't charge at all. Well, to a certain degree, after changing the telephone number over to a new number, but luckily, when my sister did that, T-Mobile wouldn't let me change that to my phone number. I still have an Assurance Wireless. I mean, not Assurance Wireless. I still have stand up because I'm poor. I'm destitute, so I still get the free basic governmental. But I have to purchase another phone and then just switch out the SIM card. So hopefully that flows as it should. And I still have the same original phone number and I still have my email. It's not that difficult to go into your account and and change the phone number back. But I just had changed it at my bank. It's once you can get into the app and I can walk into my bank and talk to them, they're really good there. Right. Um, and because of Google, people that don't like Google, I'll explain it to you again as I put my code on. um, I'll leave the thing while I'm smoking. Right. It saves your passwords. It saves your phone numbers, your contacts, your photos, your passwords. So stop being afraid of Google. Okay, that's a little bit naive. But anyways, don't care. I know, just before I went on my 2 trips, just the notifications about YouTube, remove some of my content and all this. They have profound morbid mental insanity. Sometimes it's stuff that they think that you know what they mean, you don't. I mentioned the state police, I believe it was the state police, it might have been the Boston police, talking about domestic violence and then pointing out that it's all for foreigners. None of it's for Mary. None of it's for Mary Gladys. None of it's for a white American woman. Nope. You got to be Haitian. You got to be Latina. Can't care, don't care. Can't care, don't care. Not going to be tormented by it anymore. Almighty God already told us. Complete and total extinction of a species. That's probably him already. All right. Key. Gloves. I don't think I have gloves. Hat. Yay. This is still on, just so you know.
Is that my cup from earlier? No.
That one, I think that's for me. There's a coffee maker there. It's probably not as good as the coffee downstairs, though.
No, I was gonna have some soda.
Yeah, I've been drinking soda. It's just when we go past it. I knew we were going outside, so.
We're gonna unplug your phone.
Yeah, thanks. Soda. This is one of the hotels we like. We stayed here last year for a night. So I booked it for 2 nights. It's money I wasn't planning on spending, which is the theme of the past week. I've dropped a bunch of money on hotels I wasn't planning on doing, but I learned some lessons about travel at my age and my medical condition to not do again. Shit. I knew I was gonna do it. Should have grabbed a couple of napkins. Guess I should probably have some water and see if this. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to drink all that tomorrow. Excuse me, babe. Got one more night before we have to risk losing fingers and toes waiting in line for the warming center. But not thinking about that right now. Okay. So as I was saying, some of the cheaper airline tickets didn't exactly work out to be cheaper because we ended up having to resort to getting a hotel. We just can't sit up in an airport like that. It's just like anything else in my life, just not able to do it. These airports aren't the Orlando airport where you can actually lay down and sleep. There's certain other benefits. I mean, it's all in God's hands about what exactly is going on where it's twofold, as I've explained a bunch of times, my logical understanding of why God would possibly have this nonsense going on with housing while controlling other things. Um, Literally us, attacking us with weapons, slicing our throats, raping us. Maybe they've teared off a little bit of stealing people's children because they have housing. So apparently the latest thing is they don't want to have to pay the utilities. That will go in a flow, I assume, where there'll be an opposition to it that bides time, and then the constant doing the opposite of what they're told to do, which was to give them more money to pay the utilities. They don't want to do that because they're trying to force some sort of a system where they don't pay for anything and then they still have slaves. They still have slaves. They still have people that they can degrade and spit upon in a Holocaust. So that's why they don't want everything to be free. They just want it free for themselves. And then they do a topsy-turvy in their heads about being the wealthy and the landlords. If they were given everything they wanted at once, the situation for other people would be dire, more dire than it is. So certain things in their lives that they're not happy with, they're being contained through the Almighty, uh, that they don't have to be the hostages. Because the hostages are the group of people that they cannot stop envying in a horrifying animal like derangement of the mind, where anybody with better genetics than you have and presumably are happier have to suffer certain things. Or they cause the suffering, or they just flip out and start killing people and stealing children again, like I explained. Well, it puts you in a little bit of a pickle um, about how to destroy people's lives and make them unhappy when you have to have a monetary system. That's why they don't want it, but yet they have to have it. It goes beyond land ownership and home ownership, which is odd um, in the given reality time period because there's not enough land to be doing that. These are people in apartments, in rooming houses, in condos. They're landlords too, because there's not enough land for them to be landlords, and then they'd have to have people working the land for them. I don't know if the phone, it did fall on the ground once. It didn't appear to be wet or in the snow, but all of a sudden it won't charge. It was a free phone. So I don't know if these phones are programmed to work about a month and then you're supposed to walk into T-Mobile and buy another phone. So clearly, the second I get another phone I have to purchase to keep my other phone service, then I'll explain it to my sister so she just kills that line and doesn't keep paying for it. Brian's phone was shut off today because it's a pay phone and he's entitled to a free phone and he's got a very important appointments he has to do. So he'll have to call again because he's already explained to them to call my phone and now that phone won't hold the charge. And you have to do a phone interview for the DTA cast. You have to do it. They insist to do it that way. That's why everybody had to be given phones. And the constant roundabout where some people believe that they're having a war on the poor after making you poor when it has nothing to do with that. But in the mind, um, that's what's made up. So anyway, the trips were nice. Believe it or not, I think that the first cruise was actually better, um, but for reasons that because it was too short, the second one. So we both said never again will we take a cruise that is that short. Um, that was Brian's first cruise. It was 11 nights, the first one, and it definitely didn't feel too long. You got to pick what you like because I listen to what other people are saying, and some people don't like all those sea days. We do. So I'm really happy about the other two cruises we have booked. We like sea days combined with some ports. Um, I don't think you fully relax on a 4-night cruise. And because I knew I was coming back to this, it overshadowed the whole trip, unfortunately. That's clearly in the back of your mind when you're street homeless that you're going to be outside at 3 degrees for 2 hours waiting to get into a warming center. That's clearly going to overshadow a 4-night cruise. And the weather was not good. And that was my beef. I love you, Royal Caribbean, but I do have a beef about your 4-night Liberty of the Seas cruise that departed Fort Lauderdale on January 19th. I noticed the first day was a sea day and that we were not even moving. So we basically floated offshore and dropped an anchor and sat there for a day, knowing that the weather was terrible. Then we floated to Perfect Day at Coco Cay for an absolutely not perfect day. So I don't know if people purchased excursions and that's why, because when you have hurricanes, you go away from that weather. You don't sit in it for 2 days, so that we can't use the water slides, we can't sunbathe, you can't use the rock wall, you can't use the flow rider because it literally was too cold. When we docked at Coco Cay, they told us to be careful walking on the pier because it was so windy and it was a million children on that cruise. Okay, so that should have been your hint that you should have never done it. Because God forbid something did happen to somebody, someone's kid blew right off the pier. That's not worth excursion money. So that's my beef there. And then luckily, I had canceled Royal Beach Club, which was $210 for the two of us. And that was the one day that ended up being nice. So I could see that you didn't want to veer away from that place because you were making money off excursions. We walked to the public beach at Nassau and it was fine. So I did not get to go there, maybe another time, but honestly, paying for that, I'm sure Coco Cay is probably a perfect day. I didn't even get to have any of the food or anything. It was so cold. We were only on shore for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I had eaten breakfast before we got off the ship. And I couldn't eat any more food. So I didn't get your ribeye, steak and cheeses. I don't know what else was there. I didn't see any cotton candy or fried dough. So I had a zero balance on my account to the entire two cruises. We literally did not spend a penny on either cruise because we paid for it in advance. We paid for our, I almost said utilities, which we did. We paid the gratuities, everything. And it was so funny because on the first one, some woman in the smoking area asked about did I remove my gratuities? And I just said no. And of course, in my mind, I'm like chuckling. And then she gave the same speech about how they're not going to get the money, blah, blah, blah. Just pay them more. Just pay them more. Okay. Okay, because this is how you would know you're dealing with bullshit. If you go down to guest services, say you don't eat in the dining room for 4 days. I'll reference the second cruise. Say all 4 nights you go to Windjammer, you don't go to the dining room. And you go down to guest services and you say, I didn't even eat in the dining room. Can I remove the gratuities for just the wait staff? They will tell you that that's also for the Windjammer. Okay, so they get the money then. Thank you. So again, what I would do is pay your gratuities in advance. Okay, just pay it before you get on the ship and it doesn't hurt as much. You don't want that on your account because then you go, what the hell is this? Especially an 11-night cruise. Yeah, you just go, what is this? That's your tip for you all the time. I don't agree with removing your gratuities. I think that if you're worried, you're actually a kind-hearted soul, and you're worried about these people not getting their tip, just tip them additional. Just bring cash and give it to them. And then you're not full of crap and just trying to get out of paying gratuities. Okay? Because otherwise they're going to add it to the cruise price and then people are going to have to pay more. You're all going to pay it anyway, but I think that you're harming other people by that behavior, and I'm completely against it. For the record, again. We had one issue with the room attendants on the second cruise, and I don't know if they're new. It was 4 nights, so one of the days we didn't get washcloths. I asked for the robes, and then we were given the robes, and they were tied with a tie. And I noticed when I untied it, there was clearly something on it that didn't even appear to be a stain because it's white. You can see it right away. So I put it on the bathroom floor, which when something's on the bathroom floor, that means it's dirty. Okay. We come back that day, right? It's hung up on a thing next to the robes. Now it's wet and still dirty. Okay, so I've never experienced that on a cruise before. I'd say the people are probably new. Um, they might care about the environment. When it's on the floor, it's dirty. A floor is not clean. So that was my two beefs with the room attendants. My other sort of, which isn't a big deal, is I'm having a constant issue with my crown and anchor status that I thought was taken care of before the cruise because I had a different email address that I can't access, and I have a different last name now. Okay. So I thought they fixed it, and then the first cruise when I got my sea pass, it said platinum. Okay. When I look up my history, none of it's right. Okay. But I had my platinum, but I guess it's points, so it does matter which cruises you took because it's a point a night or something like that. So then I want to make sure that Brian had a crown and anchor number, which he did. And then it was explained because we're married, it bumps him up to platinum. So then when we got on the second cruise, his sea pass said platinum and mine said nothing. So then I went back to guest services and they put both of them to platinum because I want the robes. That's you want the robes, and we both want our $4 casino play. I didn't even use the 50% off soda or nothing. I just went all that time without soda. I found that what they offer you for free is adequate, and I'm a heavy soda drinker, and I could go that amount of time without a soda. One of the excursions on the 11 night did offer sodas, so I drank like 4 of them, not gonna lie. And then when we went to Nassau, I bought 2 sodas. Okay. So had I gone to Royal Beach Club, by the way, in Nassau, it was the reason you're supposedly paying that. I would assume you're supposed to get a lawn chair and an umbrella. Good luck. Okay. A good luck. Because dollars to donuts, there's not enough chairs for all the passengers. Now, could you imagine paying $210 and you can't get a chair? Okay. Because one of the excursions, I believe it was Antigua, I'm pretty sure part of what we paid was for a chair, and Brian and I sat on the towels. I wasn't even gonna get into it. Yeah, I'm sure we were supposed to get chairs, and there was too many people on the excursions. I think that was the only excursion that we had a couple of issues with, and they're not major. Uh, I don't need a chair and an umbrella, okay, but I don't want to be charged for it and then not get it either. Some people don't like that you have to rent a chair. You don't have to, by the way, rent a chair in Nassau at the public beach. You choose to do it. Because you keep paying them, they're never going to stop doing that. That should make sense. All you have to do is go, oh, no, I don't have the money, or I don't really want to do that. I'll just sit on a towel. Okay. We have a monetary system, and they have to live. They're trapped in it too. So if you're going to pay $10 a chair, and was it $20 for the umbrella, they're going to keep doing it. If nobody paid for it, they'd stop doing it. There wouldn't be a single chair on that beach. Right. Because, and then there's another beach you can supposedly take a bus to. I never saw the bus. That's called Cable Beach. We went to the first one. I think it's called Junkanoo Beach. Trust me, it's the Bahamas. It's the same beach and water that you paid to go to Royal Beach Club for. It's the same beach. And we just walked 10 minutes to it. Okay, so that was a good day. We both got a tan there. And then we went to Fort Lauderdale Beach twice. I ended up booking a hotel that I wasn't planning on booking. Would it have been cheaper if I ordered it ahead of time? I kind of doubt it. We did not stay on the beach, no. The bus system in Fort Lauderdale is phenomenal. It's $2 a person for the bus. Exact change. So we took a bus to a hotel. First, we went to the beach. I'm sorry. We went from the pier that we walked to, by the way. We stayed, I should backtrack. We stayed at extended stay on 17, babe, 17 and 15. Um, you get what you get for. It wasn't terrible, but one thing I noticed as soon as we walked into the room, it had a very strong smell of cigarette smoke. And I was joking with Brian, going, maybe it's us because we do smoke heavy, but no, I think it was the room. That place was completely booked. And so we just said, we're not really like complaining. We're not going to ask for another room, but we just want to make sure we don't get charged for that. That is why they charge you for smoking in a room, because even two smokers went, ugh. And the window was open in the room when we entered it. So I'm sure that the people at the hotel knew that it was like that. So anyway, did that one have a microwave? Do you remember? It's an extended stay, so it's a whole kitchen that we really didn't use because we were only there for one night. And we needed to sleep because we landed at the airport at midnight the night before. So we stayed there, and then you literally can walk to the ship from there. I read all kinds of stuff all over the internet. So this is why I would like to have Cruise Critic back to what it used to be. That's another topic. Cruise Critic back to what it used to be. I'm very familiar with Cruise Critic. Used to be all over Cruise Critic 15, 16, 17 years ago, where there was a million people on it, and that's how you found private tours and things. So if they're editing that, I'd say it's because they were bought by the cruise lines. That's my 2 cents, if that's what's going on. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to discuss private tours there and then been banned. I would say that that's because they must have been bought out by a cruise line. Something. Okay, so anyways, I could see if they said don't put links, but to tell us we can't discuss with each other, private tour companies, I think that's bad. That's not good for, you got to make money off of advertising and stuff, right? Okay. So anyway, and the whole design of the message boards is different. So I don't know if it was bought by somebody. But anyways, um, I paid Royal Caribbean's excursions because I hadn't traveled in a long time, but I don't typically do that. That's sort of like new cruiser stuff, and I recommended people do it. We got to find out what the world is like out there. We don't want to get jacked and stuff on cruises. So, what else? What was I saying about Cruise Critic? Oh, walking to the ship. Okay. Um, it depends on who you talk to, what too long is. Okay. If you have rolling bags, you can walk there. Okay. It does get hot in Florida in the summertime. I will say that. And I lived in the Orlando area, not Fort Lauderdale. It doesn't get as warm in Orlando as it was in Fort Lauderdale. No, it doesn't get as cold as it is here, but it's not 80 degrees that I recall in January. So it is quite a bit warmer there. It is, you can definitely walk it. He had a backpack and I had 2 bags that we carried. We didn't even have the rolling bags on that one. You definitely can walk to it if you're in like a hotel from that area, or you take the bus. There's a bus called the number 1 that goes right from Fort Lauderdale Airport to the 40, which I believe you get off at like US 1 and, do you remember, babe?
17.
Is it 17th? 17th and US 1? Or that's, no, the hotel was at 17 and 15. It might be 10. There's a Whole Foods there. Right, it's on the thingy. If you Google, it'll tell you to get off there to catch the 40. We just walked from that bus stop. We didn't take the 40 even farther down, but you can, so you don't even walk that far to your hotel. Yeah. There's an Omni there. I don't know how much that is. Do you remember any of the other hotels that we saw there, babe? Was there a Holiday Inn? Yeah, I think there's a Holiday Inn. That might be, I don't know, is that 17, that road? That might be 17, that whole road there. Yeah. And then the road that you take to the cruise ship is called Eisenhower Road. Okay. And we were in Terminal 18. If you're in Terminal 2 and 4, you better be walking. I mean, maybe take the 40 to the corner there where the Omni and the Walgreens is, right at Eisenhower. But someone tried to say there's no sidewalks there. The whole road has a sidewalk. So that's not true. I don't know if the sidewalks new, you haven't cruised in a while, which happens. I just went 15 years, 16 years without taking a cruise. Um, the whole thing is a sidewalk. Yeah. There's like one tiny little stretch on the way to 18 right before you get to it, where if you cross the street, you're still on a sidewalk, but just stay on the grass. It's one little tiny section. It maybe takes 2 minutes to walk. Don't even bother crossing the street because you're going to have to cross it again. Right. That's it. It's definitely pedestrian friendly. So anyway, back to the beach. We stayed at, we went right from the pier. We walked from the ship back to, I think it's 17. I had to go to the bank. There's a TD Bank right there. There's a Dollar Tree, Publix, um, probably numerous restaurants and stuff and shops. We don't do any of that. Um, and then we took the 40 that goes right to Fort Lauderdale Beach, which is a public beach, and there's a bathroom. So the first day, per Google, you got to watch out for Google. It told us to get off way farther down where there's no public bathroom. And then we asked someone, and they said to ask the hotel, which I was scared to do. But I really don't like doing this because then they'll stop doing it. I feel like this happens. But in all fairness, it was called the Atlantic, where they have a gift shop. You just walk right in. We went in the front doors and asked because I wanted to ask the front desk, and they said, "Yeah, it's down there. It's right across from the gift shop." So we went in there, went to used the restroom, and changed into our bathing suits. And I think we bought a bottle of 2 bottles of water or something there. And then we went to the beach there, right across from the Atlantic. And like I said, a beach is a beach. Unfortunately, though, there was jellyfish. I knew something was up because I'm like, something's up, like the water's freezing here. Because it was freezing in the Bahamas, which I sort of knew was going to happen. That water's always cold. I've gone to the Bahamas in the spring a couple of times, never in January. So I don't know if I would go there in January again. At first, I said I'd never do it. But I was like saying to Brian, this has got to be some sort of weird weather mass because every 2, 3 days in a row it was cold and windy like that. But the water's always cold. Yeah, the water is always going to be cold. It's not the Gulf Coast of Florida, and it's not the Southern Caribbean. So, anyways, um, beach was good. We got a tan. I think at first I was going to go in the water. At first, I didn't see any jellyfish. There was also a lot of seaweed, and that was one of the things I just remembered. I wanted to look up and see if that's a seasonal thing because I always heard about spring break and stuff in Fort Lauderdale, and I go, how are they having spring break here with jellyfish and um, seaweed? Because it has awesome waves. Yeah, you would go in cold water if it was 80 degrees, which it was, or hotter. Right. If you're tan and you get that hot, you would jump in to cool off and then it doesn't feel cold anymore. Like it looks pretty, except for the bunch of seaweed. But I guess if you went just beyond that, but yeah, the waves are like awesome. It's like fun. The Gulf Coast doesn't have that. I was telling Brian. The water is warm over there on the Gulf Coast, but you don't get waves, and some people don't like it. They say the water's too warm. So there you go. It's Goldilocks, depending on your beach. So then we went to the hotel. We stayed in the beach like a 2 hours or something. We took the bus back to the number one, and then we took the number one to what was it called? The Garden Inn, the Fort Lauderdale Garden Inn, which you can tell That's their Paramore down there. But it's like not Paramore. It's like better than that. But that you can tell, and it looks like they're gonna try to improve it because they're building this huge apartment place called like not Forever 21. It's called like Hollywood 21 or 21 Hollywood. Um, yeah, because they've got a Dollar General, they got Dollar Tree, they got the budget in. Yeah, like you can just tell. Smoke shops, but like nothing happened. I didn't hear any noise. And there's a high school right there and stuff. So I thought the place was fine. They have really bad reviews. The Fort Lauderdale Garden Inn, I think it's called. Uh, yeah, I mean, you have to have the money to afford something. And I don't like to pay a lot of money. You want to stay right on Fort Lauderdale Beach, you're gonna pay three, four, $500 a night, especially on short notice like that. So anyway, I think the Atlantic is expensive, but if you want to be right on the beach, yeah, it looked like a nice hotel from the lobby and stuff. Everything's across the street from the beach. Yeah, everything is. It's like a thing where people drive on. Isn't that a like a famous thing where they drive their nice cars up and down the beach and stuff? Yeah, and like you walk on the boardwalk. So nice white fluffy beach, a nice beach. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking that that seaweed is a seasonal thing, and probably the jellyfish. And they didn't look like those Man of War things, but I'm not trusting any jellyfish. So the second time I walked to the water, when I started seeing all the jellyfish, that's why no one's in the water. It's not even the seaweed or the waves or the temperature. They're afraid of the jellyfish. So yeah, me too. So we anyway, we go back to the hotel. We had to change the room because the TV didn't work, and they just switched us to another room. And that place had a microwave, right, babe?
Yeah.
Microwave, refrigerator. It didn't have a coffee maker, and they don't serve breakfast. But this is the thing. Right around the corner is one of those Wahoo things.
Wow.
Wawa. You got the Dollar General Wawa. You just get a coffee in there. Okay, so um, I met this nice couple that's living there too. By the way, that was nice. And there's a pool. Yeah. So I know I'm like I still haven't even gone in the pool here. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and I haven't done it. But yeah, if I would have swam in the pool that night because I mean, it was like 80 something degrees. It was beautiful in Fort Lauderdale, absolutely beautiful. So I lived in Florida. I like the heat. That stuff doesn't bother me. So then the next day when we checked out of the hotel, we went back to Fort Lauderdale Beach, but we got off at the beginning because we had seen it when we went by on the bus. And Brian's like, "There's a public beach down there." I go, "Yeah." So the next day we got off there. And it was a Saturday, so there was way more people. They're probably locals and stuff, and that was good. They have picnic tables and little grills and stuff. Yeah, it was nice. I really miss Florida. And I actually think Fort Lauderdale might be nicer than Orlando. But yeah, we would, I mean, I didn't live in downtown Orlando. Just not a friendly place. Just really not good. Um, I don't know, man. I've been homeless for 15 years. If I'm coming down there going, this place is not good. This place is terrible. Um, Not a place you want to be. So, anyways, I still would like to move back to Florida when I get my Social Security. It's called retirement. I'll be 55 in May, and I have a medical condition. So, um, but I would want to look around a little bit before I made a decision. There's other parts of Florida too that have nice beaches, but I think the West Coast is probably way more expensive than the East Coast, if I had to guess. I would just rent a trailer. But I saw a sign at the bus stop that I just thought it was funny, and I meant to take a picture of it. I forgot. I was doing something else on the phone, probably looking up the bus schedule. All you need is SSI. They go, that's all we need is SSI, right? $700 a month, all utilities included. Okay, so two people could do that. Anyways, you're not seeing that in Massachusetts. So the hostages need the Social Security so they can leave Massachusetts. And people in Massachusetts don't have to worry about all these people getting this and getting that. It's out of sight, out of mind. We won't even be here. You don't need to worry about what we're getting for quote unquote nothing. You don't have to worry about that. You keep your Massachusetts, you keep your houses, you keep your condos, you keep your Section 8s, you keep your housing vouchers that you're denying US citizens that you stole their houses and their children from and their alimony. And then you're taking over, and I'm not going to be your servant. So most of you don't even want that. You just want to be able to spit upon me and not even give me a dental cleaning. So we need the Social Security to leave here. We're not going to be roaming around, eating Taco Bell, hanging out at a public library, smoking marijuana, shooting up. None of that. We're not going to be at the bus stops, making the toilets dirty or any of that nonsense. So I guess backtrack to the so then after the beach, we went to the airport and our flight was at 8 o'clock, and they were very timely. That was both flights were great. I'd never flown JetBlue before. I definitely am a fan of JetBlue because of the TV, and they still give you refreshment. Spirit is a budget airline, so I'm like pissed, and you're going from 8 to midnight, so you're just basically sleeping anyway. But yeah, even like water, they don't give you refreshments unless you pay for it. But that's why they cost $77 for two one-way tickets. So that's you, and you just have a personal item. JetBlue let us have a carry-on and a personal item, and they have a TV. I think I only paid like 108 for those two one ways, though. It wasn't that much more. So you make your decision there. Um, I did end up getting rid of a couple of things, but it wasn't like a ton of stuff. Yeah, I had to throw away a bag and some of my clothes because I could only have a personal item on the way back. I threw away two pairs of shoes. Yeah, so everything I have is from donations. Things that are not donations, I don't generally part with. And I knew it was going to happen when I packed to go there. So I didn't bring things that I would be really, really upset about losing. Um, yeah, and I don't really have a backpack. I realize Brian has a pretty good one. So yeah, a backpack, as long as it fits onto that seat in front of you. Right. Um, We've flown Spirit before. Last year we did Spirit and Frontier. I don't really have any complaints. You know, when you're buying the thing, they tell you a million times it's a personal item, so you can't then squawk about it. Both flights are on time, no problems whatsoever. All the flight attendants and stuff are all friendly, and yeah, so that was good. So we flew back. We landed at about 11:43 or something. And so we spent the night at Logan Airport. Thank you for not saying anything to us. And we did not sleep. We sat up and the whole night. And then um, when we first landed, I booked the hotel here when I saw the weather and that people were not going to give me a place to stay. Yeah, like the hope is that somebody will let you stay at their place or something and get through 2 degrees to get through mid-February, even, right? So I ended up booking it for 2 nights because luckily I had the money, even though it's supposed to go to Carnival. And I'm sure people go, oh, poor you. You had to give up a payment to Carnival to house yourself. Yeah, say no more. That's all. I get it. Really, I do. So, anyways, I get it. I really get it. Like in full force, I get it. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So, we had stayed here before. I knew there was an airport shuttle, but we did call them to go. Are you still going to be running the shuttle because of the weather? So, not only did they run the shuttle, okay, but the shuttle driver drove us after that to the grocery store and then picked us up because he didn't want people walking around in that weather. So that was very nice. Yeah, I thought that was extremely nice because you're in a hotel for 2 days. We would have starved. I mean, you'd make 2 days, but we've right. So anyway, they don't. There's a microwave in the lobby. There's an indoor pool I haven't visited yet. There's a refrigerator, a coffee maker in your room, TV that works, bed. Um, I call that a couch, not a love seat, a desk with the chair. That looks like a king size bed. I mean, everything's fine. Yeah, we've stayed here before. It's a nice hotel. Breakfast is included. We had breakfast this morning. There's a restaurant in the place. It's just a good. We stayed at the Comfort Inn before the trip. Um, what was it that one doesn't have? Breakfast
They have breakfast.
at the Comfort Inn they did?
Yeah, the one next to that.
Yeah, what did we have? We didn't go.
Yeah, they had eggs and stuff.
I don't remember eating, but it's possible I did.
I ate. You didn't.
I know. That was the room was really big and it had like a big sectional couch that looked all like hip and happening. I remember staying there, I have a picture of it, but I'm like, I didn't remember if we had breakfast or not. Anyways, usually we only stay in a hotel one night, so this is really when you do 2 nights, it makes all the difference, man. Because you get a whole day. Yeah, it's nice. So tomorrow we'll be taking the shuttle back to the airport and then going to the warming center. So that'll be it now until the warming center closes. So um, I have my hearing in March. So I do. I expect to actually get it. Um, I don't know. I'm sure that if my phone service wasn't shut off in the middle of a hearing and I didn't have technical problems, I probably would have it already. I've looked up the criteria and so you know how sometimes you can just get a sense or whatever, because clearly I met the judge already. It's the same judge, and the lawyer was there and stuff. It's just we had technical things, and you have to go through a process to approve somebody or deny them. I'm sure, but um, because of my age and I don't have a work history in my medical condition, yeah, I feel kind of confident that I'm going to get it. So hopefully, for the most part, pretty much for the whole part, this nightmare of 15 years will be over finally. And then my husband has an appointment with a mental health, and I don't think it's just a psych eval. Like, he has a brain injury, so I'm pretty sure it's for that. That's on Thursday, so we couldn't stay in Florida. Some people were asking if we should just stay in Florida. How would I pay for it? Like, you're not getting it. I can't sit up in an airport for 4 days. Like, some people really still are in denial about my medical condition. Um, I can't do that. I don't have the money to stay in a hotel for a week. But yeah, I mean, but also my husband has like 3 extremely important appointments this week we can't miss. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, the way that life is, no, we can't. It's called the hostage. One one of them or two of them is because if you leave the state, they shut off your money and your food. You have to have Social Security. That's why we're hostages. We have absolutely no hope of getting housing here. It's been 15 years. I had 6 minors and I have a medical condition. So anybody that's out of a denial knows there's something terribly wrong. So the only way to solve it, which people were told, is you have to approve all the Social Securities. You just base your entire economy, Massachusetts, on everybody gets that amount of money, just like the DTA cash. Except with Social Security, we can leave Massachusetts. Okay? Otherwise, you're still holding hostages and you're outright admitting it. So I get tired of the nonsense. This, that, the other. There's a backup at Social Security. Hostage taking. I don't want to hear nothing about all these homeless people here and there and doing this and that. Demand that our Social Security be approved so we can leave here. Everybody knows that the DTA is a federal program. We're all going to make this big bunch of bull crap about each state is now suing because they're shutting. Oh, shut up. It's a federal program, okay? Approved the Social Security. No one is giving us a voucher because of the takeover of your land. Who's taking it over? That's why I just don't know. I don't have to know that. I really don't. Also, Social Security is a permanent income, barring some other weird things that they do to people. The DTA cash is not. Landlords don't want DTA cash, obviously. Your public housing won't take DTA cash. Your lotteries, all those income-based apartments, they won't take DTA cash. I just went through the whole process myself, as other people did years ago. They all are demanding that we get Social Security. They want more rent money, and it has to be a permanent income like Social Security. Social Security fund is not running out. Oh, so anyway, back to the first cruise in terms of the comparison in the ships. Okay. It's hard to say because I like the dining room on the Liberty of the Seas and I like the promenade. And I like to be in a deck chair at least once or twice on a 12-day cruise. Right. I will not take a quantum class ship again. Right. It wasn't like the whole cruise was suck ass. Okay. And some of it's because I knew I was taking a 4-day. But I didn't know the weather was going to be that terrible till I got off of the first cruise. But I knew I was taking another one, that I'd have an opportunity to be in a deck chair. Okay. Yeah, terrible, awful design. And I'm sure it's probably because they were made to go to like Alaska or cruise out of New York in the wintertime. There's really no other explanation. Those ships are not designed for like traditional cruises. And it just depends on the person. Brian and I, we're all set with, we're not even going any higher than that. Royal Caribbean would have to basically give us a free cruise or some extremely reduced rate. I don't want to hear anything about how nice the Oasis class is, all these people that are allowed all over the internet because they're helping people sell cruises. And they're not just giving you an honest review of your cruise. I don't want to hear how nice Oasis is. Or what's the other stuff? Icon and this and the Legend. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Because you've got to explain to me $2,800 and I don't have a deck chair for 12 days. People getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning and reserving 10 deck chairs that, just so you know, the crew does nothing about it. And what would you expect them to do? Because those people are so aggressive, they'll flip out on them. Okay. There's not enough deck space. They put too much other crap on there. Too much other crap. They did let us ride the North Star, the basic experience, for nothing, like people had reported happens. We did get to do that on a port day because our excursion didn't start till like 11. So that was nice. That saved us a bit of money. Oh, yes. The skydiving simulator, 100% worth it. Yeah, that was like awesome. And then later on in the cruise, you can do it for 1 minute for nothing. I was tempted to do it because my favorite part of the whole thing is if you watch the videos and we're at the door like that. And I don't know, maybe that's the whole point of skydiving. Like everyone goes, yeah, that is the best part. I don't know. I'd have to ask them. For me, the best part is when they go, okay, and then you just fall yourself into the thing. That's the best part. So that's probably, they'd be like, oh my God, you wouldn't be the person who doesn't want to jump then. I would assume. Well, the thing is, I too have a wicked thing about heights. So Yeah, like I'd probably have to look out and not look down. But that is the best. Apparently, you don't look down when you're skydiving. I didn't know that until I did this. You have to have your chin up while you're doing it. Yeah. So that's the best part of the whole thing. We got to do it twice when you did the pay thing, and you just fall right into it. That's the best part. Um, and then you're doing it for a while. I think it's 2 minutes each time. We got to go twice, and then if we wanted to do another 2 minutes, we could pay $10, and we did. But Brian liked it too. So yeah, if you have one of those where you live and you wanted to go skydiving, I would definitely recommend doing it. Yeah, that was wicked fun. So what else? Oh, the bumper cars were wicked fun. I had wicked fun. We did it twice. Because I don't drive and I'm a really good driver. And I was reminded of it when I got into one of those bumper cars. I try to just like drive and not bumper car anybody because I don't drive typically. So that was wicked fun. The archery was wicked fun. I got it. Oh God, how did I not start off with the archery? I don't have as big of an ego as I thought I did. Um, so we watch the people ahead of us, okay, and it's set up with like balls, and I think is air blowing them to keep them up in the air, babe? Okay. And so never ever in my life. Okay. So I go up and I do the thing, boom, immediately hit a ball. Brian said I hit two of them. I wasn't sure if I did or not. So then the next one, right? And the crew member doing it, he puts his head around the corner with this look on his face. He has to know, he's probably going, who the fuck is that? Because, yeah, it was like boom, boom, almost like corn throw. Yeah. And it's one of those things, it's a mental thing that you probably have to get over. And then, of course, you get four shots. The other two didn't hit any balls. But yeah, that was like, no, that was like awesome. Like the first shot just boom, hit a ball. I don't think I'd be good at firearms, no, because my eyesight is not good. So you can have poor eyesight and still be good at archery. Yeah, it was so funny. The first shot, Brian just turns and goes, "Why are you good at everything?" I'm not good at everything. No, they had corn throw on the thing too, and that thing that used to be the bungee. I got the surprise of my life because I didn't know that they had a glass thing that you walk over, and it looks just down at an ocean. And the first time we walk up, and I go, "Oh, they have this," and Brian just walks across it, and I just completely, immediately stop and freeze. It's like the only way I can explain it to you, it's my brain doing it. Like my brain literally will not let me walk over it. Yeah, like my brain would not allow me to jump off a cliff. Right. So maybe I'd have to be pushed out of the airplane for the skydiving. Go, I want to do it. This is the thing. My brain doesn't. Yeah. So when I get there, just push me. I'd probably have to say that. Yeah, don't expect me to like maybe other people have this and I just don't know it. I'd have to start watching videos about skydiving. Maybe that's a common thing. You go over it with the instructors and stuff and go, yeah, like I've been in situations and I want to do it, but my brain won't let my body do it. So just push me out. Yeah. So, anyways, I couldn't do it. And this was the other funny thing that Brian said. He goes, well, that was unexpected. Yeah. Like I have a wicked bad thing about heights. So we went back a different day. And the only way I could do it literally is I couldn't look down. I had to look straight ahead and hold on to the railing and walk over it. I literally couldn't do it. So if I ever go to the Grand Canyon, I'm not doing that thing. I know because I go, oh boy, I'm never doing that thing at the Grand Canyon. So the corn throw is in that thing that used to be a bungee. But yeah, even just going in that thing and looking over is that you don't even need a bungee would be funner. Yeah, bungee would be fun and not terrifying. Yeah, just excuse me, you got to do it though. But you're so it's a tall ship, I guess. So what else was on there? I never did the flow rider in 2 cruises. I know, I'm like, "Oh my god." Now it's gonna be like it's gonna be literally almost 2 years till I'm back on a Royal Caribbean ship. I shoulda just done it on the first cruise. I don't know why, but I've been on a bunch of Royal Caribbeans. It's something I'm scared to do, and I really want to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell Brian next time. Just don't leave me alone until I do it. It's just a thing because people are watching you, and I know I'm gonna suck at it. I know I'm just gonna go bloop and fall off of the thing. I've never gone boogie boarding at a beach. I guess I have time to do it at a beach. Yeah, you know how much beach time there is in Massachusetts. But anyways, I have time to do it at a beach so that I'll try the thing. So, yes, you never know with Social Security, but I can't really do anything because I have to take my Carnival cruise and then I have the other one. They're both long cruises, so it probably will be that long till I have the opportunity to do that flow rider thing. So that I didn't do. I never did the rock wall on 2 cruises, but I've done that before more than once, which I also like. I didn't do that either. We both like the dining room. We found that out about ourselves. I kind of knew that too. Um, we never go out to eat. So it was nice, and we like the nice dining room with the nice clothes and the service and stuff. Yeah, we like that. We don't go out to eat. We don't go to shows. So it was like things we never get to do. Um, I love that El Loco Fresh thing they have on Odyssey, the Mexican place. I love that type of food, like Taco Bell. Love it. We had that ice cream thing a bunch of times. The sprinkles, we like that. I drank water most of the time on the first cruise, except at dinner. That was my treat. I had apple juice at dinner, and Brian had lemonade. Um, it wasn't difficult not to drink at all, and I was concerned about it for myself because I could tell I was getting like triggered a little bit since I used to drink on cruises. I Neither one of us. I mean, I don't know if mentally Brian was really like tempted, but he didn't want to go into bars on the cruise, and then he didn't really want to go to the dance club, so we didn't really do that. So if you go on a cruise with someone that's sober, especially if they're newly sober and they don't want to go to the dance club at night, just don't go. If you care about the person, don't go, or just say, "Do you mind if I go by myself?" or something. Right. That's how people stay sober. Or don't expect them to go. I don't want to go to the dance club because of the drinking. Clearly, there's going to be more drinking at the dance club than any other place. So I didn't notice really all the drinking. It's I don't think there was a lot of people doing that much drinking. On the excursions, I noticed it a couple of times. Because I think it was 2 of them at least we went on where you could actually drink for free. That rum punch stuff. Then you notice it when it's the middle of the day and they're serving that rum punch and people get all drunk and loud and stuff. You notice it. But otherwise, you see, drinks going around and stuff, but you're not really like, oh my God, all this drinking. It wasn't a party badge. And this was the thing about Odyssey too, because they told us the first night. And I had read about it on Cruise Critic. Okay. I guess typically there's more people. So it wasn't at capacity. There's usually more people, and then there's usually way more children. There was, I think they said 140 minors on the whole thing. You never even noticed there was a child. And the whole crowd clapped and went, ooh, because there was no children on it. Okay. So hopefully Royal Caribbean will start listening. And what they need to do is I'm not saying do what Oceania did and said no more children, but you need to tell us when we're booking cruises. And this is why, because I'm going to explain what happened on the second cruise. Okay. So the first cruise, we were all happy there was no children on it. Okay. So if you have children, try to not take everything that personally and think about other people's point of view. Some people been there, done that, they're retired now. It doesn't mean they will, just because you had children doesn't mean you want to be around children. You're not a daycare worker. It's your vacation. Okay. In my life, what's happened to me, I was never big into other people's children anyway. Never that type of person. And everything that's happened to me, I don't appreciate being forced to be around children at all. I just think that is just outrageous to force me to be around children like that. I just find that to be ask your therapist. Not I have to explain it because that's all I can say. I find that to be outrageous to think that I should have to be around children after what's happened to me. So you would think it left on the 4th of January, so these people should be in school anyway, and it's a very long cruise. Okay. So this is the problem, and now we know. If it says third and fourth guest sail free or kids sail free, don't book that cruise because apparently they're not actually explaining and they're allowing a couple to book a cruise like that. And it wasn't explained. And then an alternate cruise offered. Okay, so this is what happened on the Liberty. Nothing but children. It was horrible. Okay. And because people do not raise their children right. Okay. One thing that's good about the cruise community and having websites and videos is everybody doesn't go, oh, that's because what happened to you. That's not our problem. It's not just me, though, is what I'm telling you. It's probably worse for me than other people, but it's not just me. My husband doesn't appreciate being around all those children either. Okay. We're not third and fourth guests. We paid for the cruise. Now, other people that aren't us would also say children don't buy drinks and children don't spend money in the casino. So I think that adults should be told what the makeup is of the cruise, and then we should be allowed to change it without a fee beforehand. Yes, that is a way that Royal Caribbean can make good on some of this stuff because what happened on Liberty, I'm going to explain it to you. 1 million kids, and they were unruly. I happened to wake up at like 10 o'clock at night from our nap because we're retired. Yes. And we take naps. So I get up from my nap at 10 p.m. To go. I think it was probably to smoke a cigarette, get a cup of coffee, something. And there was literally preteens running around the promenade, running and yelling loudly. So I would assume that went on every night of the cruise. Okay. That shit is like I had children. No, that's bad parenting, and I don't know what the cruise people would do about it. And this was the other one. Food everywhere. Again, I had children, so yes, that is disgusting. That is disgusting. Just you go to the Windjammer and you could tell food all over the chair, food all over the floor. How do you get up from a table and leave that there? They did it in the dining room too. The people sitting next to me with the woman that never stopped talking. Okay. I noticed it after they finally departed that there was food all over the floor. Oh, yeah. Who are these people? Well, I'll tell you because they talked, the woman, not the husband. We're assuming it's her husband. The woman never stopped talking. We missed one night in the dining room, and then we came back, and you just go. And I mentioned to Brian, I go, oh my God, what is with this woman? She was talking very loud over dining room conversation noise, the music. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the table next to me. You just go, how am I hearing this woman's voice like she's right in my head, right in my ear? She never stopped talking to the daughter. And it was just like, when you hear the way other people interact with their children, you go, oh my God, this is why children are so terrible today. Absolutely. Maybe let the child eat and not everything is flashcard. I mean, this was flashcard mommy for sure. And the child is an excuse for no one's going to sit at a table with that family. Even if the husband and the wife went on a cruise without those children and sat them at a table, the second night they'd be gone because they'd go right to the maitre d' and ask for another table. Okay. And I explained it to Brian. I go, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I asked for a table of two. Just how that woman is talking to her daughter, because she can't have a friend. You can tell. She's talking to her daughter about what the father does for a living, what she does for a living. So he helps people get jobs. I know. Could you imagine being homeless? You're a Holocaust hostage and you're sitting at a table next to this? Like it's your worst case thing that you would ever. That's why I asked for a table of two, and I still had to listen to it. He helps people get jobs, so you know he's a Nazi. And she trains nurses to be better nurses. So she's a teacher and a Nazi. And that's how they talk to their children. Uh, I'm talking, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old, this kid was. Oh, yeah. Yep. And she's either going to tell her something or she's not getting ice cream. And as soon as she said that, I said to Brian, I go, and if she gets ice cream, then she knows forever that your word means shit. So later on in the night, I said to Brian, did she get ice cream? Did you see her eating ice cream? That's why. That's why these people have no concept how to raise a child. Oh, yeah. Just, they both work, and she teaches nurses to be better nurses. And the daughter has to know that at 3 or 4 years old. And then the daughter also has to know because someone either she asked, I couldn't even hear the daughter talking. For all I know, the mother's just talking to herself with voices in her head. If she wants to know why the parents don't retire. So they're explaining to her why they're working because college is expensive and she's gonna. And I look at Brian and I go, college is free. College is free. She doesn't know that college is free. That's not why you work. You're not working to pay for your daughter's college. College is free. Open up the internet, turn a television on, look it up. College is free. You don't have to pay for college. It's not free to marry. So, anyways, I have no idea because people don't tell me things. If she went, well, we tried to go too, or something, or they know somebody, they go, it's not even that. It's because of your skin color or something. That's why they won't let you go, but they just don't tell you that. Right. Anyways, that's why you shouldn't have had children. Okay. Because everybody told you what was going on. And now, how are those children going to live? They're never going to survive here. You better hope all those people die off real quick that are running everything. Oh, yeah. These two people were both white. Right. So, um, I did take my children on cruises, but they weren't that young. No. I took my children on 2 Disney cruises, which is where children belong. I know it costs more. Don't take 4 cruises a year. Take one. Um, take your children on Disney cruises. And when they were older, they took one Royal Caribbean cruise. They never stepped foot on a Carnival ship. They never were on a like I should not on Royal. I took 2 of my children on. I think it was a three night or a 4 night Disney because it was like their birthdays around that time. Okay. Other than that, they took 7. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for school, they probably would have taken like longer cruises. I wanted to take them on a transatlantic, but I never got around to doing it. They would have had it taken like 2 weeks off of school. I took them during the school year. Yes, because they were Disney cruises, except the one. I took them during the school year and pulled them out of school because it's cheaper. Yeah. So I don't understand baby carriages on a cruise. That was my other thing about the Liberty. Um, if you were on the Odyssey but not the Liberty, I'll explain to you. Oh yeah, just a million kids of all ages. It was just terrible. Baby strollers on a cruise ship. So that should be a good way to explain it to parents. Do you still use a stroller? I don't think you should take a cruise. No. I saw people trying to pull strollers on the Junkanoo Beach. Um, I hate to say it, but like that's why other people don't have children or they just have one. So if you're pulling a baby carriage on a cruise, maybe don't have any more children. It's not a crime, not to want to have children. Sometimes you don't know that until you have one. You really don't know what having children is until you have one. I did a lot of babysitting when I was young too, and it's still not the same. And I had a lot of nieces and nephews from a very young age. It's still not the same. You really don't know what it's like to have a child till you have one. So if you see yourself with a baby carriage on a cruise, don't have any more children. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or even per se a bad parent. Okay. Um, it's 18 years of your life. I mean, maybe take a cruise with a teenager or even a 10-year-old, but something's wrong because when I was having children, I literally didn't do anything like that for about 10 years. And so my two youngest were a little bit younger, like, but they were like up and walking around. I never did stuff like that with baby carriages and baby carriers and bottles. And no. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like some of the stuff you're experiencing, I'm explaining it to you because sometimes when you're in that hormone phase, you don't really know what's going on until you're past it. I knew because my oldest was getting older and like I had them all in 7 years. I had 6 kids in 7 years. So you go at the end, the twins were a little bit younger than the older one was when we started doing stuff. But you go, see, this is good. I wouldn't have wanted to have more children because now the older ones you want to do stuff with, but you still have little children. Okay, so that's one of the indicators when you start doing because you're ready to start doing other things with your life and you may not know it. You're ready to start doing other things with your life. So it can be hard as a woman to get to that part of your life too. Like you feel like you're at pause already because you're not going to produce more babies. Okay, it gets better. Okay, once those hormones are flushed out of your system, okay, you'll get it. Don't start doing crazy things where now you've got 14 children and yeah, now you're at finally at the phase where your hormones are going down a little bit. It has to do with being worried about aging. Just check the time. Hi, hi. Okay, it has to do with worrying about aging. Okay, that's why you don't want to be out of baby mode and stuff. You want to keep doing that because that means you're not old still and stuff. Believe me, you really need to stop doing it. I'd say I did it perfectly because I was 30 or 31 when I had my twins. And I was 23 when I had my first. I had 6 kids in 7 years. I mean, you're 30 years old, stop having kids. Yeah. I would say maximum 35. Don't have children past the age of 35. Don't do it. I've known so many people that did it. Don't do it. All that's happening is you're already in a midlife crisis. Like say that you don't have a kid yet, you don't want a kid. I just had to hear about somebody just doing this who's like it, I think in her mid 30s or something. You just go, you're in a midlife crisis, don't do it. No one waits till they're 35 to have children, whatever your life circumstances are. You just don't. Okay? Biologically, it makes no sense. It has nothing to do with economics. All they do is pour out money to breeders nowadays. That's all they do because they're sick. They're monkeys. So it's got nothing to do with economics. You get every perk, every benefit if you keep pushing out kids. It's sickening. So anyway, if you're like 30 and you don't have a kid yet, maybe not have one. Yeah, definitely don't have kids past 35. I think 30 was good to stop having children because you get old. Nothing's going to stop you from getting old, even making more kids. My mother had a kid at like 44. Disaster. Don't do it. Al's grandmother had a kid at like 48 or something like that. Don't do it. Disaster. Don't do it. Just Again, once those hormones wear off, you're just going to get tired now. And now you've got a kid and your whole tolerance level changes and shit. Like, there's a reason why some people become grandparents and stuff because don't have more children. Just don't do it. And everything it would be different clearly. It's just the nature of people's egos and life, and you don't want to hurt your children, that I really would have been happy not being a grandmother. I just know it. It's not something I'd be disappointed if all six of my kids went, yeah, we just don't want kids. I'd be like, all right, good. Right. Just like I said, they could be taking trips with my husband and I, Brian and I. Yeah, I mean, I don't want all those children on a trip with me. Anyways, um, there was a heavy, I don't know, I didn't ask them if they were Jewish. Brian kept calling them Jewish. They had yarmulkes on, so they might have been Jewish. I think you can buy one of those and put it on your head, but there was a large population of Jewish people on the Liberty, which was fine. Um, I don't think those are the children that were running around making all that noise. I mean, I blood test them, but they didn't appear to be dressed in that manner or have the right genetic features. Um, yeah, usually Jews have dark hair, just something I've noticed. But I don't know if I think I've heard before that there's a lot of Jewish people in Florida, so maybe I think it must have been bar mitzvah time, someone's birthdays or something. Yeah, that's fun. And they wanted to know about the food, what's in the food, and the pork and stuff, right? So, oh, so this is the other thing that happened on the Liberty, and it was unfortunate. It was like the last night, and I had had enough of it. Okay. Um, because what they ended up doing, if I didn't mention this before, they altered they cater to these people on the cruise. Not only did they not pay third and fourth guest free, kids sail free, not only did they not pay America, okay, they altered the whole cruise towards them. Oh, yeah. Family this, family that. We showed up at one of them. Oh, yeah. Just nothing but 2 feet tall people and their parents pretending that they're having fun at a dance floor. Oh, yeah. So I am not going through that again. If that's how you avoid it by never taking a 3 or 4 night cruise again, then that's what I'll do. But I would ask Royal Caribbean to let adults know, from a reservation. You can see my profile photo is people that just got married, okay? And you can see by it's 2 people that are married in a cabin. Would I really want to be on a cruise knowing there was that many children on it? No. And this is the other thing. In November, I could have rebooked that cruise for a third of the price that I paid. So yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. The weather was terrible. What's with all these children? Why are there no events for adults? Everything is family. Okay. So then we go to something that's not labeled as a family. It's 90s music trivia at 9 o'clock at night in a bar. And lo and behold, there's a bunch of children, and they weren't like teenagers. So the woman starts doing it, and she gets to like the third song and goes, I can't do the next song because there's children here. Oh, yeah. The whole crowd goes, what? Brian and I got up and left. I couldn't fucking take it anymore. You know how when you have to leave because you're just gonna start saying shit? Yes, I just got up and fucking left. Oh yeah. I think that says it all when I get up and leave, that I'm never doing this again. You're not getting another penny of my money after this shit. Tell them to leave. At the beginning of the program, announce that it's an adult activity. Okay? Baby's got back. I got news for you. I know that you want to be nice, Royal Caribbean staff member. I know you want to be nice, right? But you're really fucking naive. Okay? You didn't notice that couple? Okay. And the fact that why do they have their children in a bar? Why are they letting them run around from one seat to the other side of the room seat and being loud and jumping up and down and stuff? I think these children have been exposed to a lot more than Sir Mix-a-Lot. These aren't regular fucking children. That's the problem. Okay, so if you don't want to be perceived as that, don't go on a cruise with the baby carriage. Yeah, like maybe you're drunks and you're dropping your kids off at Adventure Ocean and see you in a theater with your little children and for a 9, 10 o'clock show and you're drinking a beer. It's not perceived well. And I'm not your mother or your grandmother who walks up and slaps you in the head and goes, "What are you doing? Why are you drinking a beer in front of those children? Why are they up at 10 o'clock at night for this show? There's an earlier show. You don't have that in your lives." Okay. There's a reason why the world is so screwed up, people. It really is. And some people just won't listen to other people. They immediately get mad. Okay. If you don't want to be perceived as one of those, okay, where I went, because Brian said something about married couple. I go, "You really think they're married, babe? Did you see them?" Okay. Um, you're a black man with a white woman who's overweight, and you have about 6 children that all look different, okay, in a bar at 9 o'clock at night. So that's the perception, yes, that you're not married. You hooked up with some baby mama who already had children and you had 1 or 2 with her. That's definitely perception I got. And the fact that your children run around all over the place. Okay, because they didn't have a proper upbringing. So that's not my life. And I don't want to be around it on a cruise ship. I got to be around it every day of my life. So I've known a lot of people. There's certain things, and maybe you don't know that, or you don't care, or you think that people are just mean or something. I guess a mean would be saying it to your face, not "this is mean." Right? Mean is saying it to your face. So if you don't want to be perceived in a certain way, you need to rope those children off. Just that's one of the things. If you go, and yes, you should have those discussions with your children, by the way, especially before you go out in public. I had those discussions with my children for a different reason. I had perfectly behaved children. But because I had a lot of children close together and I explained it to them before we would go out in public, that they needed to be on their best behavior because people are mean. Okay. And I'm not going to go out in public and be subject to people being mean. So we're going to do this today. And if we have problems, we're not doing it again. And then they didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Children should never just be in a public place running around being loud like that. If your children have autism or whatever, you've got to have a structure to their lives and not bring them out in public like that. Because it's your problems are not my problems. That's why. Okay, I know that's difficult, but it's something to do with some people having children nowadays. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. That mentally retarded woman with the child that was running all over Liberty Dunes. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too, is some people don't know when you're playing putt-putt that you need to get off of the thing when you're done so the next round of people can play. Children shouldn't be subject to mean adults. That's why it's the fault of their parents. That little kid, you get annoyed by the little kid, right? You don't like them, okay? And then they grow up and they become wicked mean because they don't know that their mother is a fucking retard. That's why. And if the mother is an aggressive retard, no one can say anything to her. So then they grow up and they're just mean because they don't know why they don't remember being 3 and adults being mean. They don't know how obnoxious they are because they weren't raised right and their brain isn't like picking up on that. Okay, so you cause your children's lives to be terrible when they shouldn't be, when you don't raise them right. That people just think you just have a kid and it roams all over the place, and everybody makes concessions like Royal Caribbean did for you. Everybody makes concessions, and your kid just walks all over a mini golf course, so nobody else is. And there was other little kids trying to play. My husband didn't even want to play it a second time because there was too many people, and by that, children. Yeah, just because parents are not quote unquote mean enough. They don't raise their children right. It's not mean to have a structured life for your child. That's not mean. I've met a couple of adults since I've been homeless who talk in a non inside voice because they were never taught to not talk like that. Okay. And when people are cognitively reduced, they have to be taught to lower their voice. So you can tell that they were neglected because they still keep doing it as they're adults. They'll enter a room and just talk at the right because, and then you go, use your inside voice. That's why people say that to children, use your inside voice. Um, it seems sort of like ultra concerned about others, but you're actually concerned about your own child, right? You're not like being mean to the child or over disciplining them. You're keeping them from being perceived as others as this annoying kid that's out of control, and they're learning to sort of, oh, okay, so if I just barnstorm here and run around, that's why nobody wants to be my friend. Trust me, when people grow up and they are socially isolated, not by choice, they realize what happened, they're very angry. So you don't really want to do that to your children, right? Even if you don't like people in general and everybody sucks, you have to raise your kid to constantly be meek towards others. You really do. Because when they grow up, it affects your whole personality and stuff. And when you are the obnoxious kid that nobody's parents want to deal with, okay, that's your poor kid has no friends. It's going to affect their whole life. So, um, I think big vacations like that, honestly, are probably better when children are a little bit older. I think maybe Magic Kingdom, a regular golf course, just a beach for the day, stuff like that. I did some of those adventure ocean things, but I don't know if I would do it again if I went back in time. I don't know if I would do that again. Okay. You also have to remember that towards the end of my marriage, I did develop a drinking problem and stuff. So I know that parents do things when they really have ulterior motives. Okay, so you might have a drinking problem and you know that people drink a lot on cruises and that's appropriate. Stuff like that. You'd be surprised. Like 2 cruises a month. Okay, like you'd be surprised what an alcoholic's brain will do. So, especially if you're in an unhappy marriage and you can't get out of it. As most people, I mean, children that age in this economy, most people can't get out of it. Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you don't talk to your kids like that? Okay. Well, like you don't live in the projects and you don't talk to your kids about we live in the projects and if we go out and we act like that everyone's going to go, there's those people mixed race, they're obviously not married, blah blah. You don't know that, you don't talk to your kids like that. Maybe you should. Just telling you, I had that conversation with a bunch of little children about going to the mall, and when we go to the mall, these two stay in a stroller, you hold that side, you hold that side. Oh yeah, I look at you, I do this, that means hold the thing. People used to compliment us at the stores. They were like amazed. And no, I wasn't abusive or anything. I wasn't like, we'll smack your face. No, you just go what people mean, da da da. And so we won't do it again. This is a test to see if we can do it. Oh yeah, if I went to Target or something, or the grocery store, they had to hold that thing as we're walking. Yes. I used to have those little wrist leashes for my children. I don't care what kind of looks people are gonna give me. And oh my God, keeping your kid. I've listened to it. I have listened to it. And not to be mean, but the voice tone of the one saying something about the ones on the leash, those are the ones with the kids all over the place. Yes, it is. Some of that, I hate to say it, has something to do with something culturally, and they just don't know it, and we've gone over some of it. No one thinks it's cool everywhere you go that your kid is interacting with us. No one but you thinks that's cool. We're at a store, we hold the thing, and we walk. That way, strangers don't snag us around the corner. We don't bother other shoppers, and people are nice to us. Okay. Some people don't understand what "don't talk to strangers" means. That's one of the things where you just go, everywhere we go is not grandma's house. Where, oh my God, isn't this, oh, how cute is this? How old is he? Da da da. The majority of the population is not interested in that. I think maybe some of it is people that are used to paid for services. It has to be. Right. They must be used to paid for services because I don't know anybody that acts like that with children. I really don't. They must be amazed at certain things. Obviously, crew members, I don't know, what do they do in the daycare center they pay for? Obviously, all of those people are going to act like that because they're being paid to. I think Brian fell back asleep. Were you taking a nap, babe? What time is it?
2:53.
I've been able to talk on my live stream for a while. In terms of like not being able to use social media and stuff, I really didn't miss it on my cruise. The only time I noticed that I would start being like that, I think it's somewhat coupled with anxiety, is when it was coming towards the end of the trip. Um, yeah, like it had to do with like worry over banking. Um, am I going to be able to get another hotel room? Stuff like that. Like, but just being on the trip and stuff, I didn't. I don't think Brian did either. He has like a video game on his phone he can play, and I noticed on the first cruise he didn't do it as much, but on the second one he was doing it. So I think he was starting to have more anxiety too, because the weather wasn't good and we knew it was going to be wicked cold. And obviously, we just did a 3 week vacation, and we knew it was coming close to being over. So your anxiety. We're not regular people where we're on a vacation from work and then we go home. Right. We don't go home and then do the laundry and go back to work and complain about going back to work when you're actually happy to go back to work. Because I know you guys like working. Yeah, just we're not those people. We're street homeless in Massachusetts, and it's like deathly cold. Yeah. So this is a little bit of anxiety when your vacation's over. when you're facing that. If we were coming back from a vacation and it was like March or April, no, it wouldn't be. It would be different. I don't mind the warming center, even the fact I have to stand outside. It's only because it's bitter cold. I'm like, I don't even know how we're gonna do it. It's supposed to be like 3 degrees. I have no idea how we're gonna do it. I know we did it one night in between the two cruises, and it was pretty cold, and it was nowhere near as cold as it's gonna be. But like sleeping in that place is fine. It's two mats on the floor right next to each other, and there's people that sleep in there that we know, and we know a couple of the volunteers too from last year. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's the having to wait to get in because it's the basement of a senior center. Because seniors have to have a senior center. So anyway, just don't expect to be reborn in this physical form. That's all I state at that point, right? So I think that most people know that they're not going to be reborn in this physical form, and to some degree, it's made people worse, I guess, in terms of their complete indifference to people freezing to death outside. Like, if anything tells you a separation of a species, it's that. And it's freaky when you observe it, right? Once they come to the acceptance of reality and you just go, okay, there's nothing more horrifying than other species in acceptance in terms of like that, where you just, in terms of you go, oh my effing God, like you 100% are a different species and have a different psyche than I do. Like, oh my God, like they once they know they don't have to care about something, they don't. Yeah, you just go, that's why you have religion. You can't get rid of religion for the other species. They have to have religion. Whoa. Yeah. I think they do know that there are people. It's just your morality. You're not doing something because you're afraid to go to hell, right? They do things because they're afraid to go to hell, right? That they have a different, like the struggle is real. They're in a constant struggle, because God contains their brains, contains their thoughts and stuff. They will scream and fight with him about why they don't have to help us. If whatever you're calling help or whatever, they will. Oh yeah. So then, yeah, it's gonna mean something else. They'll just get all pissed off. I don't give a fuck. Oh yeah. You do something about it. Why should I? All that shit. That's their problem. It's like, whoa. My favorite port on the first cruise is St. Kitts, hands down, St. Kitts. I've never been there before. Oh, yeah. I like stuff that's not built up because clearly I'm not there to go to McDonald's or Taco Bell. And I'm not even getting a hotel, right? Because I'm on a cruise. I would think the locals would probably prefer that everything is a cruise ship and there's no hotels at all. Um, so, yeah, just if I live somewhere, yes, some people do make money off running hotels, but you go, no hotels. No one is here at night, though. You wouldn't be able to sell things overnight, which some people do make money doing that. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Just it's like those beaches, but they have all these cliffs and stuff. It's like a cliff behind it, like you see in the movies. Oh God, yeah, nice. Like you're on Lost. Like you're on that film Lost. So, did they say they filmed a bunch of that in Hawaii? Yeah, maybe I would like Hawaii. I don't know, but I've never been big on Hawaii. I've never like had all these dreams about going to Hawaii. The next cruise does actually stop in Hawaii, so My whole entire life focus now for 15 months is my next cruise. Yes. So hopefully, if I get Social Security, I'll begin to figure out where I want to live. I'm never buying a piece of property again. I'm never buying a house. I'm never buying a condo. I'm never buying a piece of land. Um, I would probably try to rent a trailer somewhere where I don't own the land because I think that's the safest way to do it so far because these things are not allowing us to be owners of homes or anything at all. Okay, in their monstrous insanity. I had a house that was completely just straight out fucking stolen from me. So I'm never doing that again. Um, Still, people buy homes and stuff and they just, everything is different with them and they don't wonder what that is or care. They just keep making up some reason. There's a reason why I don't have children anymore and there's a reason why I don't have a house. So they want to take that risk. That's right. I would suggest to people that are in a struggle that they immediately sell their house or their condo. Immediately sell it so at least you have some kind of money to live on. Because if you don't do it, you will end up with nothing when they finally take it from you. Like you're really in a deniable reality. I would say that. If you still own a house and you're white in particular, if you're married and you own a house and you're white and you're an American, I think you are in a denial about what's going on and you need to sell your house so that you have something to live on because they will take it from you. So I would never own a house again. If you sit there going, how are they going to take it from me? How'd they take my house? How'd they take anybody's house? They do it. So, anyways, you're not in a learning lesson to not own any property and that God has no borders and all that stuff. It's animals that are fighting for territory because they're animals, they're not human beings. People that want to convey to you a thought idea and a philosophy about how people should live, they talk to you and they write letters. They video blog, they type on Facebook, they explain to you their thoughts and ideas. And what do you think about the whole society changing to this? They don't do nonverbal behaviors like a dog or an ape. I don't think it's snowing here. No, it's not snowing here. This is not Worcester. This is Boston. I'm not sure what we got for snow. Did they say Boston yet? I don't think that looks like 20 inches to me, but I haven't gone away from this hotel since I went to Stop and Shop last night. I have no boots. I'm wearing like sneakers that are like tennis shoe sneakers. I don't have winter boots. I do not own winter boots. Um, Everything I had in High Park went into a donation bin because it would have been stolen anyway when I went to Father Bill's place. Right. When they took away my bed, I lost everything I had. That's what they do. So, any of these discussions about things like they're actual people, I have no interest in. Those aren't people, those are animals. Oh, she's in Walpole. Cool. Some people, I don't know if we have a lot of people left alive anymore like this, but they like to sort of force people to be outside and stuff, and then they want to see like what you say about it because they get a sexual arousal out of people being afraid. I don't know if we have a lot of people like that anymore. I think that God's killed most of them. Yeah. Well, you would know because they'd want to talk to you. They'd want to hear what you're saying or read what you're typing or something. Yeah. They'd want to know if you were like worried or scared or something because they get an arousal from it. Hmm. What else about the first trip? It was sort of cool. Going from like New York where it was cold, and then it was only like the first sea day. Even by the time of the first sea day, it was already starting to warm up, like to the 50s, and that felt warm from going from the 20s to the 50s. Um, yeah, that was good. I mean, a Southern Caribbean in January, sure, but maybe not do like a Bahamas. The other thing I realized too, like that trip that I supposedly won, you just go, forget about it. Just let that thing go. I'm not going to do anything with it. If my Social Security case had been handled correctly in terms of like someone shutting off my phone, that should have already been November. It should have been done. Okay, so clearly someone did it because my phone service isn't supposed to be off. It's a government phone. I just talked to my provider today. That nothing's going on where I don't have phone service. Someone literally killed my phone for about 10 hours so I couldn't do my hearing. Okay. So stuff like that, you just go, those are some pretty miserable fucking people right there. Yes. That is, how could you just go, how is anyone doing that? Because they're miserable. You don't even want to know what people like that look like or how mentally retarded they are. Okay. So, anyway, had that been handled and done, then Brian and I could have considered just staying in Florida right now for a week or two. He can't miss his Social Security appointment. He also takes medication. He takes psychiatric medication. He has, and then his therapist apparently is now threatening that he's going to have to fire him because he's missing appointments. Okay. So it's possible we both discussed it. I go, if this becomes an ongoing, and then the provider he had, they're already left and they haven't given him another provider, you just go, we'll just go back to me. And at this point, I'm sure Nick understands he's not supposed to have Adderall, right? He has a whole other now new thing of medication. So you just go, as long as I can go in the appointment with you and I can make sure that this dude doesn't give you fucking Adderall and you don't say something fucked up to get it, then yeah, you just go back to fucking Manit. We never had any of these problems with them. The problem with Manit was the Adderall. Okay, so you just go, this is becoming like, I don't know if that place is being investigated or something. I have no idea, but you just go. My therapist never once was like that about anything. She would just talk to me on the phone. She did therapy appointments with Brian there. Apparently, this guy is saying he won't do appointments if it's not private. Like, yeah, like a lot of it sounds like he's probably just trying to get out of it. I gotta say, you just go, okay, so you're clearly not helping this man get Social Security or keep his psychiatric medications on. Okay. So he's got an appointment Wednesday. Yeah, like you just go, dude, what are you talking about? We're planning on going right into the office, and this is what they did. The DTA did this. The DTA office will not stop scheduling an interview with him when they're told specifically he's not available on that day. So now he's going to go to this guy's office and explain to him the DTA is supposed to be giving him a thing, right? So his phone is shut off because he doesn't have a government phone unless we pay. And now someone has done something to that phone, so it won't charge because the DTA was given that phone's phone number. I know you just go, what in the fucking world, God? Oh, yeah. What in the fucking world, God? Everybody knows, God Almighty, about the fucking DTA cash. Everyone knows. Stop trying to do fucking shit through Mary and Brian to get what you want. He gave them that phone number. We didn't know that phone was suddenly not going to fucking work. He gave DTA that phone number because he knew the phone he had to pay monthly or they're going to shut it off. Oh, yeah. You just like, what in the world? Fucking God. They have to do a phone interview. Apparently, those people get paid. It's been years they've been doing that shit. I don't know if that's why there's a war on phones, a war on the destitute with the phones. And then what happens when their DTA cash is shut off? Like, do the depraved criminals know what happens then? You just go, what the fuck? Maybe give them a choice if they can come into the office for it or a phone interview. Some DTA's point of view might be because they're insisting that we still get governmental phones. That might be DTA's point of view. Yeah. And then the government, the people sit back and watch what these people do. The people that won't stop fucking with social media and people's devices. Yes. So the people that run DTA just watch this shit going. What is going on now? Uh 3 phones all at once just go kaput because this dude has a phone interview with DTA. Obviously, after this, you go, okay, who do you want phone service through? Okay, because we need to contact them and have them send you a phone or send you a SIM card since you have a phone, right? Oh, so yeah, I mentioned that it was cool going from cold weather to warm water and warm weather. And the temperature, the weather on the first cruise was perfect. Oh yeah, we only had like one day, and it was like the last sea day or something, or the day before the last sea day on the way back. That was like a little bit cloudy or something. Oh yeah, it didn't rain. It wasn't cold. It wasn't windy. It wasn't cloudy. Yeah, it was great. But I explained about the deck chairs. Yeah, it's the ship itself. It's the ship itself. You just go, yeah, this is not. Mm-mm, never taking quantum class again. Right. I mean, obviously, if someone gave me a cruise, I'd go on it. Right. But I'm not paying to go on a quantum class ship again. So I'm really glad I didn't book that quantum to the South Pacific. Good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck. You're not laying on a chair in that place. Yeah, just I never in any of my 15 cruises do I remember that being a problem, by the way. When I used to cruise before, ever was that a problem. This stuff with the chairs. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what Royal Caribbean was thinking, but as soon as we stepped foot on Liberty of the Seas, I was like, oh, even Brian, he gets it now about the dining room when he's the one who liked the Odyssey when I was showing him. Remember at the beginning, because some of it's his depression. He probably thought it was never going to happen. He probably thought it was a pipe dream, and he is just part of depression when you just go, I really don't care. I don't care about that. That's part of depression. But anyways, he does care about that because he liked the dining room on Liberty. Um, so and then the promenade. Yes, the promenade. You got to have that promenade. The second they stop doing that, that should tell you you know who you're dealing with on cruises and stuff too. But I got to say, the people on Odyssey were fine. We had no problems at all with the people on Odyssey. No, it wasn't. I shouldn't say the people on Liberty, but it's too many children, so it causes problems that wouldn't exist. Um, on Odyssey, it was a bunch of people that are disabled, a bunch of people that it's time to stop traveling. Yeah, it's really time to stop traveling, but they never will. They never will. They will burn fuel like that and murder people's children, and then. But I guess I shouldn't care because are they really children at this point? Right. Or they're unsurvivable primates that will rise up and be even more brutally insane, like we're seeing now in this state and probably across the planet, but definitely in Massachusetts, it's a severe problem. Just, anyways, I guess Florida and Massachusetts, considering what happened to me, a lot of it was Florida. So yeah, I mean, you really don't want those people to survive. Anyways, um, that's why I'm sort of zen with it all, and I don't really pitch attitudes with different types of people anymore, because the whole grand scheme of things is a mass extinction that does nothing but benefit me. So, um, in terms of the fuel use, I welcome all of that now. Yeah, just there's no hope whatsoever for these people to ever get people to stop burning fuel. So the ones bewildered by it, you're probably not my species. So you're never going to get people to care about the environment and stuff now. I explained it all. So there's no turning back and there's no way to fix it. And I've explained it before. If you think you're nice, I'm explaining to you what's actually happened. Because of the Holocaust on American homeowners, in particular married Americans and homemakers, um, no one is going to help people stay alive. No one is. They're really not. They know what they've done. There's no way they're quote unquote going to heaven. They know that. So why would they change their behavior for anybody else? They won't. They believe that God will take them somewhere else. They're going to heaven. They don't believe in reincarnation. They don't believe in cycling, most of them. And then the other ones, they know that they're too bad. There's no way they're ever going to heaven. So they're not going to change any of the behavior. It's all about the present and getting what they want. So that's probably why, for the most part, people talk about the children with the cancer and stuff anymore, because they know people don't care. They know that people are getting cancer from the fuel use and they don't care. They will say stuff like, there's no way to stop it, people can't walk anywhere, this and that, when clearly none of that's true. There was a way to stop it, but because you didn't want to stop holocausting me, then there's not a way to stop it. You were told to stop foreclosing on people. You were told to stop taking people's children. You were told to return my children, return my home, give me alternate housing. So you took a stand where all those things had a super duper meaning to you, and now it's just an extinction. Can only you can answer that, each and every one of you. Why it was so important for you that I don't have a house, or I don't have children, I don't have a different apartment. Why is that so important to you? Like that's why I'm a good example. I'm the perfect example of it. Okay, perfect example of it, where your bullshit doesn't work. Why was it so important for you for me to lose my house that I was a homeowner, lose my children that were all minors, and you wouldn't even put me in an apartment? Why was that so important for you to do? No one's going to do anything to help you stay alive. So it's really that simple and easy to answer that question. That's like people demanding like bone marrow transplants for serial killers that are in a federal prison. I guess good luck with that. On top of the fact that they don't want to live here without fuel. So, right. There were people, you saw it during the thing you call COVID, which was people trying to shut down the system and save people's lives from the cancer. because of the free electrons. And then, and I, again, for the 100th time, you forced me out of the room that was in Quincy, and then you absolutely refused to give me an apartment. So no one's doing that again. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. That was in 2020, January 2020. It's 2026, and now I sleep in a warming center and outside. The warming center is only open from December 1st to May 1st. And the rest of the time, I sleep on the literal ground. It's gotten worse, not better. So there's no way that people are gonna worry about plastics, heating oil, driving, the groundwater, nitrates in the water. No one is gonna care about that. It's about conservation. Nope. That's why I said that posting on Facebook. It's called being sarcastic, right? About the domestic violence. It's called being sarcastic. It was something about Haitians and then another thing, the Asians. Oh yeah. That's the only people that they care about because when you're a primate, it's like a family group that's like that. You know those people that don't they I got to take care of my own and all that. It's like that, but like you got to look like them. It's called genetic conformity. That's not keeping you alive, you know. It's not keeping you alive here because the other fractions don't like that. They don't like you. They don't like that concept. They don't like that idea. Like you're admitting that you hate white Americans. That's why. Like it's just okay to just admit it. Okay, well then don't expect anybody to curb their pollution or do like extraordinary efforts for you medically if something's wrong with you. Don't expect them to do it. I basically go, there's no way you're cycling back here anymore. Right? Some people get confused because they go, "Oh, these people don't care about the environment." So they really did they care about the environment 10 years ago or like 2011 when we first started doing this? Did they care about the environment then? Environment's not going anywhere because they read the Holy Bible and they believe in God. The environment's not going anywhere. Nope. So this person right here, do you think that she should have a housing voucher? No. Okay. Next, environment's not going anywhere. So this person right here, does she have health insurance? Okay. She has mass health but not well sense, so that's why you refuse to clean her teeth. Next, environment's not going anywhere. So this Ron DeSantis, Casey DeSantis, the Golf Channel, Florida alimony laws. What do you think of that? Next, environment's not going anywhere. Some weird shit that deranged people make up about a good Samaritan or this or that. Give a fuck. So this person right here, um, Do you think that she should get Social Security? Next, environment's not fucking going anywhere. So this stuff with the 3 degrees and everything, like, did you check on your neighbors? Should we care about your neighbors or what about standing on fucking Green Street for 2 hours every night in 3 degrees? What do you think of that? All I can do mentally, honestly, is I just blame God. Like, part of the disassociation is that you just go, oh, well, God is again pointing out to these people that they have no chance of going to heaven. That's all you can do. And then you just fucking deal with what's going on. It's shocking every time, every time. But people can't really hide their true self in certain circumstances. You just go, no, not on camera. I discuss, like, obviously everything in my life with my husband, but I already outright asked somebody in between my 2 cruises I did, and the person, what that person did is didn't just tell me no. The person just completely ignored me for a day and then began texting me about something else. I don't live my life that way. I just don't. It is getting to that point, right? If enough time goes on, just don't bother talking to me again at all. Obviously. Yeah, obviously. If enough time goes on, just don't, yeah, don't even bother. Every time to smoke again, I guess. I shut the other phone off since the problem is it won't charge. Something happened to the phone where it will not charge now because that's the phone number that the DTA has to do Brian's DTA renewal thing. You just go. Because he knew his phone was going to get shut off. It's not a government phone, which I have to buy a phone because they don't give out phones anymore. Nope, they send you a SIM card. How the fuck? What is that going to do a person? I know you just go, people. It gets worse every year. It gets worse. Every year it gets worse. There's just a little tidbit of knowledge too, especially if you didn't grow up here. Everyone that grew up here knows it's you fucking people doing it. Just so you know that. Oh yeah, they do. Because we don't do that shit. No, we don't. This is Massachusetts. It's a fucking welfare state. We know that it's you fucking foreigners doing it. We know it is. No Republican or hardworking fucking Bostonian, okay, goes, oh no, these people aren't getting a government phone. They're not getting their fucking teeth cleaned. They're not having even a bed in a fucking shelter. They're not getting free phones. They're not getting a basic fucking income. They're not getting fucking food stamps. Not here. No, they don't. Nope. No fucking Republican, no matter how Republican you are, fucking does that. I grew up here and I've been living back here for 15 years. So no one is going to fucking tell me that that's a Bostonian. that was fucking born here. No, it's not. These are people coming from some other fucking country, and they are brutally fucking insane. Because I told you, they hate fucking white people. They hate white Americans. They fucking hate us. They don't believe people should even get a fucking apartment. I mean, people, you know how many people never worked a day in their fucking lives in Massachusetts? No one cared. No one gave a fuck because those were losers that you didn't want to be. These people are fucking mentally retarded losers. So they destroy people's fucking lives that they envy. I'm letting you know, I was born in 1971. So stop trying to make me think that someone that's a Trump fucking supporter is the people doing this, because I know they're not. It's not quote unquote black people from the fucking projects doing it either. No, it's not. Because you do that shit to those people in Florida. I saw it with my own fucking eyes. It most definitely is people from other fucking parts of the planet. And you are fucking sickos. And if you're not from another part of this planet, you're most definitely severely mentally retarded. Psychos here become like Donald Trump. They don't target the fucking poor. They amass wealth for themselves and start fucking models. Sometimes it can get a little bit confusing from my point of view because there's certain people where you just go. One of the things about dementia I've noticed too is they will just go, but da 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 da, and just turn a blind eye like that because they have brain disease, they have dementia. It's part of dementia. But those people don't have the brain capacity or the knowledge to be shutting off fucking cell phones, um, demanding that people don't have assurance wireless fucking phones anymore. They don't get housing and fucking public housing. They don't get EBT money and EBT SNAP food. No, those people don't do that. They just have fucking dementia and do fucked up shit like kick you out of their house in a snowstorm and then just act like that's not their fucking problem. And then if they have any clarity, like 2 days later, start flipping out about what they just did, like they were drunk. That's part of dementia and shit. I told you before that I'm real familiar with that. You have to be like brain reduced to be doing that. Right. That's why I know you fucking people that do this shit, you're definitely mentally retarded. That's the same thing as being brain reduced. Some people get like that because their brain is dying. And then some people are born like that. And then you come over here and you decide that you're fucking in charge of Massachusetts now. And so you don't like fucking white women. So I don't get a phone. I don't get my fucking teeth cleaned. You can't figure out in a year and a half my name or how to fucking mail me an insurance card. You're doing it on purpose because you're fucked. You can't believe that a fucking woman who was made destitute got fucking remarried. Probably nobody will marry your ass. That's why. It's not rocket science. God tells us it's because of envy. It's right in the holy fucking Bible. It wouldn't matter how much money you had or how many vacations you took because you can't get a dick to penetrate you. Or whatever it is the fuck you envy. Your hair isn't nice. You don't have straight teeth. Whatever the fuck. You have short legs, stretch marks. I don't know. It's all different things for different people. But it's fucking something that is like that basic. I know I wasn't even a millionaire. Just the dude made $160,000 a year in 2009. Okay. So you with a house and a truck and a fucking cruise, you should be happy right there. You shouldn't even be like that anymore. You shouldn't be fucking attitudinal about a homeless woman gets a fucking dental cleaning. That's pretty low to the ground. Yeah, pretty fucking low to the ground. So I know what we're dealing with these people. I've seen the staff members at that Father Bill's place, what they look like, and some of them have told me about their lives and how they talk. They're not intelligent. Yeah, people like that. Those type of people will fucking throw you outside in the freezing cold and not bat an eye if you fucking freeze to death out there. They've done it to me. They'll steal your fucking shit because someone gave you a pair of leggings and you look good in them. I explained it, some of them. They can't keep a man. They have a fucking drug problem they can't stop doing. They just have a natural hate for fucking white women. And then here I am actually marrying someone who's good looking and younger than me and isn't fucking fat and isn't on drugs and doesn't even drink anymore. That's enough to cause these things to go into a complete fucking frenzy. That's all their lives are. I know you go, for God's sakes, can you get these fucking people laid in a house? Like, what is it that it's going to take? Some of them, it becomes a behavior. That's their job. Like the woman that's going to teach nurses to be better nurses and the dude that's going to help people get jobs. Okay, so if there's not people that need help getting jobs, you don't get fucking paid and you're not sitting in a fucking cruise right next to me. Not you're a fucking better person than I am. You're both Nazis. Your jobs are fucking pointless. Your jobs are absolutely fucking pointless. And without me, you don't have any fucking work, right? I'm sure there's probably a group of nurses somewhere going, oh my God, you got to be talking about that fucking chick. How are you teaching nurses to be better fucking nurses, by the way? The fuck does that mean? Is that you teach a nurse to take care of 10 patients instead of 6? Sometimes. Well, I'm getting old now, so, and I've lived a life, right? And I have a brain in my head. So you go, how exactly do you teach a nurse to be a better nurse? Yeah, tell us more, Nazi. I don't say a word. I'm not fighting over no chicken tenders, but you just go, mm-hmm. It just dawned on me like 2 minutes ago as I was saying it. It probably is that. I don't know. I don't teach anybody anything. I'm only kidding, obviously. It's just so obnoxious. I teach homeless people how to be, how to not fucking kill people when you're homeless, how to stay out of jail. No, no, no. I don't teach anybody how to stay sober. Nope, that's not a fucking job. Not something you pay Mary for. Fuck no, it's not. Pay Mary fucking nothing. We just keeps going all over YouTube, all over fucking Twitter, all over Instagram, all over Facebook, reading other people's shit, and now you're making a fucking paycheck off of it. Fantastic. And we're all fucking losers because we're not on like the government fucking system and we don't have a sheet of paper. Right. Boom. No one cares about the fucking environment anymore. In terms of my regimen, oh, that's right. It's all about my carnival cruise. Brian's helping me too. Obviously, I went off of it this morning because the breakfast is free. And it's not really like I'm going to have that again. I'm really not. It's not like other people that go, oh, until the next free breakfast. I'm homeless. I don't really get free breakfast. I'm a hostage in the Massachusetts. I don't want to get into that, but yeah. How's the making up I deserve this going? Is that going well? Because I saved my DTA income for a year to pay for a vacation, and now I'm not going to be doing any of that for 15 months. That's how you guys live? Please, fucking break. I know. All you had to do was give us that fucking apartment in Orleans and have to pay rent. I'd never be able to go take these trips. You would have to fucking make up bills that homeless people don't have. And that's when you really get fucking scary and other people go, no, we're gonna have to let you go. Yeah, we're gonna have to let you go. I'm sorry. You're suggesting that these people don't get a basic telephone anymore? For what reason? They shouldn't be able to have a storage unit? For what reason? Okay. And not have SNAP food anymore? For what reason, though? Just all of a sudden, because we're not spending the money on drugs and alcohol and hotel rooms for the most part? Isn't that the reason? You wouldn't care if we got $2,000 a month if we were heroin addicts. No, you wouldn't. I didn't forget 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, where those were the only people you were giving fucking Social Security to. I haven't forgotten that. So, for what reason would all of a sudden we be bad people? All you got to do is you still have money left over after you people pay your rent and shit, right? All you got to do is pay a payment every month and you can take a fucking trip too. It was $2,800. You can't come up with $2,800 in 10 months. Well, yeah, like when you go, so your beef is that they didn't spend all of their money on hotel rooms and drugs and alcohol. That's your beef. I think it's good to admit that. That's why you don't want people to have a basic income. They don't even have fucking housing. They don't own a car. They don't have housing. They have a fucking storage unit. They pay for laundry now. And they have a fucking SNAP food card. They don't get pizza. We didn't do any of that. We take showers in a fucking public shower. You didn't even want us to live on campgrounds. You won't even let us camp longer than 2 fucking weeks. What were we supposed to do with the money? Get it? When people have to break it down what their fucking problem is, then yeah, at least the people around them just go, you are fucked, man. There's something wrong with you. Like we all knew something was wrong with Barbara Kent. What is this? You're happy that they might shut off SNAP food? Why? The fuck is wrong with you? Never in a day. I keep telling them to give you guys more and more money. I don't want them to give you a voucher to pay your fucking electric bill. It either is included when they're in that public housing, by the way, it's 30% of their income. And no, they don't pay electric. No. So don't worry about those people. You're worried about old people. Old people live in elderly housing unless they have money. Okay? It's included in their rent. It's 30% of their fixed income. Okay? So they don't need vouchers to pay their fucking electric bill. They need more money, straight out money. Just make it up. They get money checks, not they get a voucher. Right. That's why all that shit is to stop. No more housing vouchers, no more fucking fuel assistance. Get money, not voucher things. Because I explained it. They won't give fucking housing to people and they will steal your fucking house. They will, even if you had money, they won't rent to you. You need to really listen. And then everything is fucking free to them through the government, through vouchers and shit. Get a grip. That's why you can't have it. Those people were not trying to do the transition plan. No, they're trying to transition to something, all right, but it's not what I fucking explained. Something else. So that ain't happening. And they thought that they were being allowed to do it because they didn't understand that those people thought they were doing the other transition plan. That's the only reason they got their foot in the door of doing it. And some of them seem confused now about why their progressive movement isn't going more progressive. Because we're not fucking doing that here. That's why. You have a Republican president right now and you're not doing that. See how it's different? You got confused the first go round where you thought Trump means no one gets a fucking thing. And then Biden means all of a sudden your destitutes can fucking eat and have a phone again. Okay, that is not what goes on here. Like, you're so retarded, you don't even understand American fucking politics. Right. Trump means you don't get vouchers and shit. That's what Trump means. That's a fucking Republican. You don't get all this like traffic work and shit, road work and stuff like that, and more jobs at the fucking, I don't know what, DCF office. That's all Democrats do that. Not neither party means Holocaust fucking American citizens. That neither party means that. Right. Neither party means fuck all the US citizens and just keep talking about fucking foreigners that don't have any rights. Neither Republicans nor Democrats do that here. Okay, so some of you people are definitely fucking really confused and didn't grow up in the United States of America, obviously. It means insane cunts everywhere. How many times do I have to tell you that? Insane cunts everywhere. Oh, Newburyport. I think that's a nice place, isn't it? Brian's still sleeping. I should probably shut this one off because it's never gonna actually fucking post in so long. All right, let's see. We gotta do this.